Welcome to the Custom Fantasy News Network. My name is Brian Cork, and this is Week 11 in the Jimmy the Greek Memorial Fantasy Football League. This was Family Face-Off Week as the Doyles and the Callahans had to battle this week. Two teams locked up playoff spots, the Tonkawa and the Savages. The Savages locked up their division, while the Tonkawa, still battling broken mirrors, were first in the Dirty Sanchez division. Now, the power team of the week was Kickapoo with 158 points in their win over the incredibly gay Plumbers. The pansy team of the week was the Gap-Toothed Kentucky Retards, who could only manage 83 against the Prancing Pink Ponies. Of course, any team named the Prancing Pink Ponies would be a big assignment. Fantasy stud of the week was TJ Husmanzada for Kickapoo with 32, and the fantasy dud of the week was Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, who put up a goose egg for Geronimo. Week 11 scores, it was Broken Mirrors, Black Cats, and Other BS over Geronimo, 126 to 109. Tonkawa got past the Dyslexic Sioux, 136 to 119. Kickapoo pasted the incredibly gay Plumbers, 158 to 95. The Bloodthirsty Savages took it to Captain Bonehead, 147 to 122. And the Prancing Pink Ponies got revenge against the Gap-Toothed Kentucky Retards, 97 to 84. Then the Bloodthirsty Savages needed to win, along with the Gay Plumbers' loss, to lock up the Dead Horse Division in the first round bye in the playoffs. The Savages had won 3 in a row. They were playing Captain Bonehead, who lost his last 2. This game was close going into Sunday night, with the Savages holding a slight lead, 121 to 117. Brian had Marion Barber to go, while Jason had Jason Witten to go. Barber had 114 yards rushing and a touch to go with 6 catches for 39 yards, while Witten only managed 2 catches for 34 yards. Not a good day for either Jason. And to make it worse, Jason had to watch Matt Castle score 40 on his bench. 40 on his bench. And yes, that would have been enough to give Jason the win, so I'm sure he was cussing at his TV. The Tonkawa took on the Dyslexic Sioux in the battle of the Callahan brothers. They met in week 3, and the Sioux scalped Tonkawa 125 to 90. Since then, Quinn and the Dyslexic Sioux have only managed to win 2 games, while Tonkawa has just rocketed to the top of the division. They had won their last 5 games in a row, and Tom almost had this one salted away going into Sunday night. He led 136 to 111. Quinn still had Owens to go, but Marion Barber was the show in that game, and Owens only managed to score 8 on 5 catches for 38 yards. So Tom got his revenge and locks up the playoffs by pounding his brother 136 to 119. The Kickapoo faced the incredibly gay Plumbers this week. Both teams have been playing Lions football. Kickapoo had lost 5 in a row, while the gay Plumbers had lost 3. The Plumbers got off to a nice start, though, when Thomas Jones put up 19 on 104 yards rushing and a touchdown with 2 catches for 15 yards. But Kickapoo came just roaring back on Sunday. Just about put this away going into Sunday night. The score was 147 to 94. The Plumbers still had Lee Evans to go. Kickapoo had Cooley and a 54-point lead. Now, Lee Evans had exactly the same number of catches as my sister, and she didn't play in that game. So he got a big fat 0, and the Kickapoo were just not to be denied as they laid the wood to the Gay Plumbers 158 to 94. In the Battle of the Doyles, it felt a little bit more like the Special Olympics, as the Gap-Toothed Kentucky Retards were up against the Prancing Pink Ponies. Now, the Tards came out on top the first time these two teams met in week 2. But since then, the Ponies have only won twice, while the Tards have managed to get to a 5-5 record. All that really needs to be said about this game is that LT was the high scorer for either team, and he had 18 points. On 57 yards rushing and touch with 3 catches for 45 yards. In understanding how poorly the Ponies have done this year, they've only had 7 scores of over 20 points this entire season. The Savages had 8 scores over 20 points by week 3. So the Ponies managed to pull this one out 97 to 84. But these two teams missed being the lowest scoring teams of the week by just 3 points. Not good. In our last game of the day, 2 very odd teams were matched up. Geronimo had won 4 games in a row, while Broken Mirrors had won 3. It was an overwhelming force hitting an immovable object. Something had to give, and going into Sunday night, Mirrors had a solid lead, 126-61, but G-Rod still had Lynch, Romo, and Winslow to go. Now Romo went Sunday night, and he came up really small, scoring only 9 points on 198 yards passing, with 1 TD and 2 interceptions. Now Lynch did his part. He got 32 on 119 yards rushing, 10 catches for 58 with a touch. But Winslow only managed 7 on 3 for 40. Final was 126-109. Now there's some big games in Week 12. Takwa takes on Geronimo this week. With a win, Takwa locks up the division in the bye. The G-Rods are just trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, but they're definitely in the playoffs. With a win here, that would really make it very likely they're going to the playoffs. The Sioux play the Tars. Now both teams are just fighting for their playoff lives. The loser has what slim hopes they have for the playoffs, probably shot. The incredibly gay Plumbers don't have things to get any easier this week as they take on the Savages. Now in Week 7, the Plumbers were 6-1 and in first in the division. Since then, the Plumbers haven't won a game and the Savages haven't lost a game. Kickapoo put up a big number last week, but their playoff hopes are nothing but a memory now. They play the Broken Mirrors, who are winners of 4 in a row, and with a win here, they lock up the playoffs. It's the Ponies versus Captain Bonehead. Both teams are playing out the string and trying not to lose the toilet bowl. So that's Week 11 in the Jimmy the Greek Fantasy Football League. My name is Brian Cork. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.